Well, hello, hello, hello to everybody in this awesome, amazing group. My name's Teresa Sanderson, and today we're talking about getting started with voiceover. So thank you for joining me today. As you pop into the room, please feel free to say hi. Let me know where you're watching from because I do love to connect with you. And if you're catching this on the replay, be sure to comment hashtag replay because I do love to know that you stopped by. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Today, I'm just going to take a quick look and make sure that I'm showing up live online here. Bear with me just one second. For some reason, I am not seeing it in the group yet, so I just got to make sure. Shoot. All right, just one second here. Are we showing up yet? Okay, looks like we're there. Hello, Miss Amanda. Sorry about the delay, everybody. It took me a while to be able to see that I was actually showing up live in the group. So I'm just going to drop a link in there really quickly for something that you'll need later. And but today, the lay of the land for this course, we're going to talk about getting started with voiceover. So I'm going to share with you um, how to get started with voiceover, as well as how to know if voiceover is really for you. We're going to talk about that because it's more than just using your voice. I mean, that's a big part of it, yes. But I want to be sure that you understand some of the ins and outs of it because it can be one of those things that's kind of stressful for some people. So I'm also going to put in here that I'm a standout member. Okay, forgot to do that. So thank you for bearing with me. And I'm excited to share this content with you today. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. And so, what is voiceover? A lot of people, more than anything, one of the biggest questions that I get is, what in the world is it? What is voiceover and what do you do? Well, the cool thing is, if you have a voice, you can probably do it, okay? But I happen to have one of those voices where I've worked some jobs in call centers before, and a lot of people have commented to me over the years, am I talking to a real person or are you a recording? And so if you've got one of those kind of voices, chances are voiceover may be for you. So if you've ever had any comments like that or people just saying, oh my gosh, I could listen to you all day, you may have something going for you in voiceover. But also I would share that sometimes if you have a very unusual voice, a very unique voice, that may be really good in voiceover too. So voiceover is literally just using your voice to share about someone's product or service via audio. You're just going to use your voice to do that. So think about some places where you've heard voiceover work done. Okay, podcasting, right? Podcasting is a long form of voice work, and it's not really voiceover work, but where do you hear voiceover in podcast? You hear it on the intros, outros, and probably on the sponsored ads in the middle of the podcast track. So if you've ever heard voiceover in that way, raise your hand or give me a thumbs up because you probably have. Think about when you call a corporation or a business, right? When you pick up the phone, or when they pick up the phone, you usually hear some kind of recorded message that says, if you know who you'd like to speak to, press 1. If you're looking for so-and-so, then press 2. And so you get that. So I've done some of that kind of work before, but that is voiceover work, and corporations will pay big bucks to get the right voice on their phone service to route their customers around, a voice that's welcoming, a voice that's warm, a voice that's clear, all of these kinds of things. I listened to an audiobook. I'll just kind of go off track just a little bit here by, well, I'm not going to say who the author was, but the author literally read his own book and it was kind of a lot of a smacking going on. So that's definitely not what we want in voiceover. I have had the pleasure and the great blessing in my life to have actually recorded and scripted a lot of radio ads of my very own for my own businesses. And so that is really how I learned voiceover on the fly. And I learned scripting and crafting meaningful messages and things like that for my own business years ago. But here's the thing, we live in a small rural area. There's literally 20 people per square mile where I live. And I will connect with people in our small communities today who hear me talking to someone else, and they'll come up and say, "Oh my gosh, I remember your voice from those ads on the radio." And those ads on the radio have not aired for many, many years. So voices can have a really, really long lasting impact and kind of almost be imprinted if you think about on the memory of your clients and potential clients. So think about those songs that we love, and if there's a particular music artist that you follow, how you know that voice and you know who's singing or presenting to you, right? So we can just really tell who that person is by the sound of their voice. So again, today we're talking about getting started with voiceover. As you pop into the room, please feel free to say hi, let me know where you're watching from, and comment #replay if you're coming in on the replay, because I know that most people catch these things on the replay. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about, how do you know if voiceover is for you? Now that we've gone over some examples of what it is, how can you know if it's for you? Well, first of all, I would say there is a great income potential with voiceover, but much like any basketball player, there are a lot of basketball players, very few actually play for the NBA, right? So it's kind of the same thing with voiceover. Again, there are many actors, but not so many are on the big movies. So that kind of thing. But you can use voiceover to add additional income to your business in any way that you choose. And it's really very simple to do, because you need you just need very limited gear. You need a decent microphone with a pop filter. You need a quiet place to record. You need a way of editing your stuff. And, so without breaking the bank, you can get started, which makes it really good. A lot of people charge by the number of words that they record, maybe 100 words for $25 or something like that. Some people charge by the job, $75 for a 60-second piece, something like that. There's a lot of different ways to slice it. So you will get more familiar with that as you get started. But the opportunities in voiceover are there. And this is quite honestly how I started my business last year, was just in voiceover. But I went from voiceover alone as a standalone service to now doing video marketing with voiceover as an added benefit, because I can sell my videos at one price, but when I add voiceover to that, it's an add-on service at an additional price. So it's just something else that you can do. And if you get into script writing along with voiceover, again, that would just be another add-on service that you can bill for doing that. Voiceover work is great for working from home. Again, you just need kind of a quiet place. And I know that many beginning voiceover artists have set up literally a closet as kind of a soundproof space where they can hop in and record anything that they need to do in almost a soundproof environment, which makes for really good recording. So it's great for working from home and just adding on to some income for whatever business you're running. Okay. So let's see. Now, you need to have tough skin. Why do you need to have tough skin in voiceover? That is because your work is going to be critiqued, okay? And you should expect that your customers and clients may ask you for revisions. So never be so wedded to the work that you're doing that you think, "Oh my gosh, I hit the mark with that one." And then you send it off to your client only for them to say, "I really wanted it to sound more like this." See what I mean? That's going to happen. And that is a normal thing in performing arts. If you don't know it, I was a music major, vocal major back in college before I became a nurse. And so I was very used to having my voice critiqued in front of large groups, in front of other people. So those are things that were kind of normalized for me in that setting. So, but if you're not used to that, just know that unlike any other job where somebody might ask you to proofread or edit something or whatever, and you can just deliver it and it's pretty much done, in this service, you deliver it, and the expectation is, well, you're definitely going to be asking, do you require any revisions on the work, because you want your people 110% satisfied with what you deliver. So, you have to have a little bit of a tough skin and not really become that personally connected to the product that you're creating. I hope that makes sense. So now that we know a little bit about what voiceover is, we've talked about the earning potentials and that kind of thing. Oh, one more thing, as far as knowing if it's for you, you need to be willing. Oh my gosh, forgive me. My dogs are going crazy. Jasmine, trouble, come. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I am so sorry about that. So you need to know, working at home, right? You need to be willing to invest in practicing, also reviewing the work of others. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here in just a minute, and also learning the editing software so that you can edit your record your so that you can record your own tracks, stop it. Record your own tracks as well as edit them. And when you edit them, you're able to take out things like the sound of your breathing when you go to take a breath and start the next sentence. If you have a big P, like a popping sound, you can edit those things out. S's, T's, and P's are usually the troublesome ones. So anywho, that is that. So let me just share with you a couple of examples of wonderful voiceover artists. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick, and we're just going to take a look at a couple of these. Jasmine, please stop, honey. I've got trouble in my arms and Jasmine is barking. She thinks she hears something, but there's nothing outside. So here is a gal named Katie Harrington, who is a professional voiceover artist. And we're just going to listen to a couple of her clips, okay?
Sustainability. It's not some abstract thing. It's why we're here. Speaking out, taking action, making sure the Earth has a voice. Won't you stand with us? Greenpeace.
The world is waiting again to welcome you back, to free your adventurous spirit, and to reconnect with the places you love. Air Canada. Welcome home.
Craft a magical world. Assemble, design, plant, and grow this enchanted unicorn fairy garden. Let your child express their creativity and design with their personal light-up fairy garden.
Very interesting, isn't it? We heard 3 clips just then from Katie Harrington, and I think you can hear that each one had a different flavor. The last one being very much oriented for children. The green piece was very corporate sounding. And, so she has this very professional tone that can go all the way down to working with children. So that is one of the neatest things I think about voiceover projects, is that you can decide on a type of work or a style of work that you like to do, and then you can get creative in that space. Here is this other gentleman. He goes by the moniker of the voiceover beard. So let me just share a little of
Have you
his
ever
work.
wondered where all the stuff we buy comes from and where it goes when we throw it away? It turns out, stuff moves through a system from extraction to production to distribution to consumption to disposal. Altogether, it's called the materials economy. But that is not the whole story. There's a lot missing from this explanation. For one thing, the system looks like it's fine, no problem. But the truth is, it's a system in crisis. That's because it's a linear system, and we live on a finite planet,
All right, let's
which
look at
inherently
another
is
example of
unsustainable.
his.
Maybe a cliche, but my body really is a temple. Yogi tea. How good can you feel?
The refreshing mix of strawberry, pineapple, and lemon lime and Sprite tropical mix is back, but only while supplies last.
She's been your best friend for 50.
So again, just a variety of scenes that voiceover work can be used in. I thought that both of those artists, they really did a good job at showing the diversity of how they can use their voices to speak another person's brand, right? Always very valuable. So again, as you pop in, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. If you're catching me on the replay, comment #replay. And thank you for spending some time with me. And I do apologize for my little pooches. They are just feeling a little kind of crazy today, so they usually don't ever do this. Now, tips for getting started. I want to go through 3 tips to help you get started with voiceover. So if this is something you're thinking about, you're going to leave today kind of having an idea of what it would take to get started, okay? So the first thing is to practice, practice, practice. And you want to be sure that you give your voice a time to warm up. You're going to want to practice some deep breathing, really letting yourself breathe all the way to your diaphragm underneath your rib cage and filling your lungs with air so that you can really project your voice, okay? This is something that you have to learn. And I had the blessing again of being a music major way back when. So I learned all about that kind of breathing and how to breathe at even certain intervals. I could give myself a rest, as we call it in music, to take a break. So other things that you can do are listen to ads and things on the radio. I want you to listen to just Google voiceover artists and listen to the kind of work that they do and get familiar with the different types of commercials, the different types of, maybe podcast intros, phone recordings, videos, because there are all kinds of people that need voiceover anymore. And so it is a growing industry. Video is skyrocketing right now, and voiceover has nothing to do but follow it on that growth curve. Okay. So practice, practice, practice. Listen to others, decide on the kind of work that you personally are interested in doing, and then practice as you listen to these other people. Practice modeling your voice saying the same things that you heard them say on that particular radio ad. Even if you need to take a few minutes and jot down the script, practice saying it, and even in front of a mirror. One of the biggest things that helps me to have expression when I'm talking or teaching or doing a recording is looking at myself in a mirror, because if I can't see anything, it's hard for me to be able to project that. That's why, like, a lot of times in corporate training, they'll have a mirror in front of the person who answers the telephone, because they tell you what, answer the phone with a smile in your voice. We've all heard that. But if you can't see yourself, you really don't think about it. So you'd be saying, hey, thanks for calling. And that has a totally different tone than saying, thank you for calling, right? So when you answer with a smile in your voice, people hear that. So use a mirror when you need to practice, because it's very, very helpful for you to add emotion. That is a big, big tip right there. So definitely do that. Now, where can you find work in voiceover? Let's talk about that just a little bit, because that's important, right? If we're going to start this as a business, where can you find meaningful work? And one of the first places to go would be a website called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. And if you've never used Fiverr before, just the name says it all, because you can get pretty much anything done for $5. But that doesn't mean that everything on Fiverr costs $5. You can have, $1,000 products, services out there, but it's all based within the Fiverr website, where people are coming to look for freelancers who offer various types of services. So voiceover is definitely a gig that you can have on Fiverr, and I've had been hired several times from Fiverr for voiceover as well as video. What you have to be aware of is that when you're using any type of a freelancing site like Fiverr or Upwork or freelancer.com, that they're going to have probably a percentage of your earnings that they capture, because they have the space, right, where they're bringing the traffic in. It's kind of the same thing that you would have in an Etsy shop. Etsy's driving the traffic to all of those little storefronts over there. So those Etsy vendors have to pay a certain percentage of what they earn to Etsy. Okay, so it's the same type of thing, only for services and creatives. So Fiverr is great, Upwork is great, Freelancer is great. Once you get started, though, you will be able to post in your own groups, maybe in your blog, on your YouTube channel, different things that you're doing with voiceover work, and you'll be able to get clients more organically. Of course, there's always ad reach if you wanted to put ads out there. I am not an ad spend kind of girl. I choose to do all my business and grow organically, and that's working great for me. So I always try and encourage people to go that way, because as entrepreneurs, we got to be great stewards, don't you think? We have to be really, really good stewards with all things that we have. So the last thing, we've got two tips that we've gone over for getting started so far: practicing, listening, all of that stuff. Then there is knowing where to find work. Jasmine, come. I do apologize. And then the third one is learning how to record and edit. This is going to be really important. Jasmine, come here. This is going to be really important for you to know, because I mentioned earlier, you got to learn how to delete those breaths that happen in between sentences and phrases, and those can be very, very challenging. They not challenging, but they can be a lot louder when you're recording than you ever thought they would be. You can also, when you learn to edit, if you wanted to bleep out some words, make it sound a little bit racy, there are some things you can do with voiceover that way. And then You can also even out the voice track, because if you're reading a 30-second script or a 60-second script, what can happen is sometimes you're going to get more excited and you're going to be a little louder, and sometimes you'll be a little softer in how you're saying things. But with a good audio software, you'll be able to even out that voice pattern to where it's all equally loud all the way across. So, and this isn't rocket science, it's really not hard to do, but it's something that you'll need to be willing to invest in learning to get your best possible experience. Okay. So I'm going to share with you now just a couple of my own reels for voiceover that I use. These are what I call are what are called demo reels, not just what I call demo reels, but we'll listen to a couple of these so you can just see what this has been like for me. So here's a couple of my own personal demos.
Don't you hate it when you want to go on a vacation but you just don't have time to plan your getaway? We've solved that little problem for you and then some. Visit our website to take full advantage of our complimentary travel logs and destination guides. If you already know where you'd like to go, that's half the battle. You can even book discount airfares, hotel, and your rental car all on our site. What a lifesaver! Again, just jump online to hop on that plane. Simple, inexpensive, and fast. Shouldn't everything in life be like this?
So that is one example, kind of just an easygoing voice. Here's another one. It's a different pace.
Are you struggling with maxed out credit cards, overdue loans, suffocating interest rates, and relentless collections agencies? Is your credit rating making you and others around you cringe? If so, there's only one thing to do, and that's to turn to the professionals at Creative Credit Solutions. Even if your credit is less than perfect, we'll help you get back on track. You can do it, and we can help. Call today or visit our website for your free credit check report.
All right. So, and this is the importance of learning, a good video software or a good a good audio software so that you can edit your voiceover demo reels, because we never get a second chance to make that first impression, right? So whatever you send to a client as an example of your work, whatever you have on your website as an example, it needs to be very professionally done and the best you can possibly do it, right? Because we don't ever get a second chance to audition. And that is one of the things about this kind of work that is a little bit different than what we do otherwise, with blogging and different things. I mean, we can always come back another day, but if somebody's looking to hire a voiceover artist today, they're going to listen to you one time. And so you really have to have something ready that's professionally done and will represent you in the best possible way. All right. So now I have a crazy good offer that I just want to share with you. We've gone over all of our content today, which was what is voiceover, how to know if it's for you, and 3 tips to get started. And so, again, as you pop in, if you're just now in here and you haven't said hello yet, please say hello and let me know where you're watching from. And also, if you're catching me on the replay, comment #replay. I have a brand new course, though, that I want to share with you today, and it's called Voiceover Made Easy. I did put a link to it in the comments so that you can check it out. But this course is everything you need to know to get started with voiceover in about a week's time. Super quick, super easy. I'm a big believer in doing things easier, faster, and better. I never create anything, that's just going to be overwhelming to do. So what you're going to learn in Voiceover Made Easy, you're going to learn the special diaphragmatic breathing techniques. You will know exactly what kind of gear to invest in without breaking the bank to start your voiceover business. You will learn how to practice. I will teach you how to practice, how to expand your lungs and project your voice. I'm going to teach you how to record and edit your recordings in a fantastic software that is actually free to use. And let's see, I'm also going to teach you how to make those wonderful demo reels. All of that is included. And as a bonus, I'm going to teach you how to create your gigs and list your services for sale in the online space. So if this is exciting for you, if this is something you're looking forward to doing, I've got a super duper inexpensive, crazy good class for you. Just click the link for Voiceover Made Easy. I did post it in the comments, and you can check that out. If it's for you, great. If not, I hope you enjoyed this content, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks for tuning in today. Bye.